I'm sure end of the day everybody is tired, but when it comes to residents, I really feel there are no problem residents. Residents have problems, and as teachers, we may be partly contributor for their problems. Therefore, it's our responsibility to resolve them. So coming to goals, really, the goal is first is to understand what is the important role of faculty and heads of the departments in identification of those residents who are having problems and remediation. Then a clear-cut defined process actually, like who are these people, what is the underlying cause. There are multiple reasons that they are having problems, and also how do we evolve a good remedial plan that will work, because this will have to be customized. There are no simple rules for that. So if we look at the expectations of MCI from the teachers and residents, they are humongous. The multiple roles that people have to play, so therefore some people are really good at it, but everybody is not made the same way, so we expect a teacher to be a leader, professor, teacher, clinical, everything. And same for the resident, should be able to be a self-directed learner, hardworking, efficient, trustworthy. Of course, everybody has to be soft skills, this, that. So this is a little too much, but all the same, we should strive to reach. If not we reach the Everest, we'll reach Nanda Devi or somewhere else, right? So coming to why do they have problems? This is most important to understand. If we look at it from MBBS to getting to residency is a major transition from, and that is the responsibility of being a doctor is added to a person who did not really have responsibility. So it's a personal loneliness a lot. Environmental stress of shifting places. They are expected to work fast, they expect to work correct. There's no administrative backup in most of the government institutions. There is huge information load these days. They don't know really what to study. They're overworked, sleep deprived, and often even go hungry, and this is a fact. So other thing is in private colleges, they have to pay loads of money and also intermittent demands for money. Medical education system has been no good. They're changing rules right, left, the different kind of bonds, criteria has changed, and some of them are married. So a spouse guilt is another adding factor. We see about 25% of residents who are coming these days are suffering either from anxiety or depression, and some are on permanent treatment as well. So it's not the residents alone. Even teachers are a problem. Excellent role model faculty can produce better professional behavior. And we see Dr. Subhadra sitting right there who, truly I'm telling you, it's not that like I don't know everybody, but like some people I know. So a problematic faculty can create actually a problematic resident. Any kind of party politics which goes some of the institutions which really destroy the environmental culture. And then dual or triple role of teachers. Some of them have to do administration as well. That really makes things difficult. So ultimately what happens? Some of the people take an attitude, avoid, don't address the problem, it's not there. Or they become very soft, why should I take the litigation? Or otherwise, what is really important is that what she said just now, to give honest feedback. Most of the people are reluctant to give honest feedback in a pleasant manner. Like you have to tell the person, otherwise how will the person know really? So system problems in government places, the infrastructure is not there, system is not there, residents have to do menial jobs like taking even the samples to lab. In very private sectors, lot of infrastructure, but teachers don't have time to teach. And second thing is the patients are so high-end, they touch me not. So to get the optimum balance, actually we really need to look at the not-for-profits where the things are a little more balanced. So adult learning principles are what we really need to have with them, but what we are really resorting to them is still a pedagogy. They need to be responsible. They have to be thinking the meaning and relevance of what they will learn, what are they going to do with it. Till such time we are able to put in the relevance in their minds, it's difficult to move ahead. So then who is a problem resident? Any resident who demonstrates a significant amount of trouble for which an institutional head has to intervene is a problem resident. So these are the 4 areas where they have problems: knowledge, skill, attitude, and unprofessional behavior. Knowledge, this is the simplest and the most common, and available attributable causes are poor baseline knowledge because they're doing MCQs, they're not understanding the subject. They're slow to grasp. Some of them are slow to grasp the basic concept because of these MCQs. The basic concepts are really a casualty. Then some of them are not able to organize their time to suit what is required out of them. So for them, simplest thing is regular assessment and detect the deficiency and rectification. So for that, It's not moving forward. Huh? Aage, huh? Yep. So these people, we can do one-to-one mentorship. Basically, we have to find a person with whom the person would be able to open up easily. And instead of lectures, a small faculty tutorials and reading assignments with timeline and peer support. And then somebody should do the assessment regularly so that how are they improving. There's only 1 or 2 like that in a batch, so it's not that big a deal. This is very, very rampant. These days, skills are a huge casualty. So clinical skills like history, examination, and all that, this is best done by one-to-one by a senior. A problematic person is assigned to a person who's a good person. Communication skills are extremely important. Unless until they're able to share what they want to do with the team or communicate to patient's relative, this can be a huge casualty. Surgical decision-making and performing, there is no other way but one-to-one supervision. And as Dr. Subhadra has said, on the spot, real time. When they're doing a case, there's got to be somebody who's giving them a feedback which is corrective but protective. Like the person doesn't have to get nervous but doesn't know what to do at that moment, then it won't be, they won't remember later on. So this is a little challenging area. This is attitude and personal problem. There's deficit in motivation, poor interpersonal skills. Some of them work very hard, but they reach nowhere because they don't have a logical process. So what Sandeep said just now, to develop a logical process is extremely important, and that's where the attitude also has to be brought in to develop that. And these people can't be trusted with the patient care independent. So residents with attitude problems, they report late to work and all these things. I think all of us know they're lazy, they use mobile phone during work hours. But correction is what we really need to do. I think whatever they do, we have to really review the video records from CCTV footings if somebody is not observing all the time, and suggest corrective measures as a feedback in a private area. Provide timeline for correction, because if we provide a timeline for correction, if we are more interested in them, we listen to them attentively, tag a role model teacher, behavior improves dramatically. Some people really go for role modeling, and the hero worship, the moment the hero worship comes, it all changes. But in case it does not really happen, then we got to be really tough, at least on these people, because some people come with lots of attitudes and issues from before. And worst case scenario, then we may have to resort to get them out of the institution, which is very, very painful. Unprofessional behavior has become almost, not so much, but social media, these kids are indulging into things which are sort of not desirable, binging, dancing. These things are like, they're not the best things to happen on any institutional thing to this thing. Personal comments on faculty members, like these things which they want to do frustration venting out, goes in a big way. And some of them really abuse their juniors as well. And but all this is kind of correctable by a good positive feedback. So the corrective process will be, is it a single problem or there are multiple? Correction possible at faculty level or at system level. Preferable is at faculty level, then remedial measures should be in consultation with the resident. You cannot say that you have to study so much and the resident says, I don't have a capacity. So whatever we build, unless until the resident is a partner into corrective measure, it will not be followed. And then set minimum goals to start with and let the person move on to, once the person moves, the speed can be geared up later. And then re-evaluate based on the set targets. So that reevaluation also can be a big motivator. Look, I've done my 100% now, so I can take a little harder challenge. So this is another thing. Some residents have problems, but this is truly a problem resident. They indulge into destruction of property, prestige, especially in my part of the country. I'm sorry, but this is what is litigation and psychiatric disorders. Psychiatric disorders are very difficult to deal with. And these residents have a characteristic. They will try to attract attention. They will want to come to very close to you, get you flowers, remember your birthdays, sweets, references, getting this, that. So be very careful. So ultimately, it is that whatever we do with them, we have to keep a good documentation. We tell everybody, but we should really write a thesis on these people date-wise, so that in the end, in case you really land up in the court, then that comes to your rescue. And other than that, be careful of external influences. MLAs, MPs will come and talk about them. Be at your best behavior. And this is the time you got to be really on your guard. There's no scope for spontaneous behavior. We cannot say anything which is not nice. In case you're very angry, just shut your mouth. Don't speak a word. So Don't speak a word, just keep quiet. Yeah. And mental health people need a lot of actually support from us. And depression, anxiety, we all know. Warning signs also, we are doctors, so we know. But the thing is, if there is anybody who's alcoholic or drug abuser, I think when they're in a sober state, they should be actually guided. They can only be guided, and with emotional support, they really come out. So take home is be observant and empathetic. Use learning principles which are adult, no compromise on the self-esteem of either the teacher or the doctor. Identify easy, instill remedies soon. If really problem, document well. If affecting institution, expulsion can be resorted to. Thank you so much.